So Thomas, welcome back. Here we have now, I think, the Rolls-Royce instruments in our hands. The very best choice, I think, for the professional musician as well as maybe an amateur musician who really wants to spend a little bit of money, but therefore gets an excellent instrument. We have the New York model, we have the artist Chicago model. Both are artist models. They've been designed with certain players, certain orchestral sounds in mind.
Yes.
But they work universally.
Yes. Yes, the idea behind is that we want to have an artist model based on our existing Xeno models, but
A step above.
Yeah. What you said, Rolls-Royce, I would even say it's the Ferrari.
Oh, wow.
In the trumpet world. And therefore, yes, it's not the easiest to play. You really need to have something already. You need to have a background of playing already. And advanced amateurs definitely can play it as well. But of course, the world is professional players then in different orchestras. And the idea behind it is that New York, Chicago are two world-class orchestras. The musicians in there are really absolutely top class. But they have different ideas of the sound of a trumpet. And that's why also the development behind the trumpet is specifically with each orchestra and with even specific players out of these orchestras. This is partly historically given from really long time in the orchestras. And what is so special with this instrument that even lead pipe or tuning slides are different to each other. And they're different because the player likes one or the other style. Here we wanted to have a model that is above our normal Xeno range, and we want to make it more individual. And individuality starts already at the beginning of the instrument with the lead pipe. So on these two instruments we do have a special lead pipe built in. And this lead pipe, we call it MB1 and MB2 lead pipe. So the New York has the MB2 lead pipe. It's a lead pipe that is a little more open than the Chicago lead pipe. It's not good or bad. It's different to play.
Yeah.
So the Chicago lead pipe is more a straight taper, which gives you a very exact range where the tone is. Where do I play this note? The New York trumpet gives you a little more flexibility.
So if I play together in my section in the orchestra and I have to lead as a first trumpet, I have to sometimes just lay down the intonation. So we have to play. I can now really sort of like taper that note, the last note, for example, top C, to what I hear in my woodwind section.
Right.
And this trumpet gives me that extra versatility, that freedom.
Yes.
It's not that I have to play and I can never do anything with that note.
Right.
It's either flat or sharp, but I can actually really make that note melt or sort of like blend in with the other sections.
And this is really necessary in the world of
Professional
musicians, as you know, by your own experience. But this is only the starting point of the instrument. So it starts with this lead pipe. Then again, the tuning slide. The tuning slide is a different
shape.
It's different shape. Even if we look at the Chicago trumpet, we have a more rounded shape than on the New York trumpet, where it's a little more square shape tuning slide crook. Another thing is where is the location of these two braces. So where on which acoustical point of the instrument we locate these braces here. This is very important for the balance of the instrument, and that's again a personal thing of a development player. It continues the way it goes through the pistons. So the two piston variations in here are slightly different. Not much, but they are slightly different for the resistance of the player. So the player feels comfortable with one or the other one.
Yeah. So again, you're giving the accomplished player, the well sort of like trained amateur player, you give them a possibility of choice.
Yes.
And it's really important that we kind of like as professional musicians or as brass players, as you know, as loving what we do, playing a trumpet or a brass instrument, that Yamaha has come up with that choice. Because I think at the end of the day, the instrument could be perfect, but there is always a different individual behind.
Right.
So there are so many choices now, and with these two top instruments, we can have sort of like a preference again, which, you know, at the end of, they are both equally as good as another,
Yes.
but you can just, this is for me, and this might not be for me, and vice versa.
Right.
So the choice and the colors that and the feeling that it gives you. And at the end of the day, when you're driving a good car, you say Ferrari, I said Rolls Royce, you know, sort of like a Mercedes at the top of the range. It's the feeling that you have when you are driving. This is for me.
Yes.
And Yamaha gives you that choice.
Yes. And especially when we look into this range of trumpets, we even look at the smallest details. So we develop not only the brass tubes, we even start considering, together with the development player, even the shape of the water key, or screw shapes, or where is the stopper screw located. These are little details on the instrument, but very influential to the sound and to the way the instrument plays.
Yeah.
And some of them are more practical oriented, like on the Chicago trumpet, we made a longer third slide, for instance.
Can see that,
so the slides itself are longer. So means the player can pull out longer.
Yeah.
Means you can play the lower notes
Yes.
even a bit lower in intonation. On the other side, this position of the stopper screw again also influences the sound of the instrument. And this is where we have to find a good balance, and that sometimes takes even years to develop this with the player in the orchestra or with soloists or with players in different orchestras.
So has Yamaha managed to find the holy grail, and hence with those two, albeit being different models, to find the perfect instrument?
I don't think there is the perfect instrument. I think there will be always variations that would fit one player
Or another.
better than the other one.
Yeah.
And this is really depending on which mouthpiece is the player playing, how much air the player is playing, the style of
Setup.
the style of the music, also the setup,
embouchure,
muscles. This all comes together and will finally make the decision, okay, this model is better for me, or this model, or even another one.
So what I've learned from all the trumpet range that Yamaha has is that you have possibly much more choice with Yamaha. You have a basic, very, very good quality instrument from the student model up to the medium to the professional artist models.
Yes.
The quality, it's always with the same idea. I think the model of Yamaha, the sort of like thought process is that you never stand still, that you always look for something to improve on. You always constantly try to go forward. And with the choices that Yamaha gives the professional, the student player today, it is unique on the market. So I'll have a go on the New York second generation model. And then the artist Chicago model.